Good to see you again.
How's my pardon coming?
How's your farming?
No, my pardon.
Pardon?
Yeah.
I didn't reckon I was gonna pardon you. As far as I know, you ain't done nothing wrong.
Welcome back to California's original theme park, Knott's Berry Farm. The rides are still all closed, but behold, the theme park is open. As you may already know, for the last couple of months, Knott's Berry Farm has opened itself up as a little sort of food festival experience called a Taste of Calico. Ghost Town was reopened, the classic Peek In characters were restored, and you could get all kinds of tasty treats and eat right here in the streets at an event that's kinda hard to beat. But although it looks like we've wandered into the very same event at Knott's, things have changed. No longer is it just Ghost Town and some of the... Oh, it's just George. I thought you were one of the ghosts. Oh yes, as I was saying, no longer is it just Ghost Town and some supplementary areas that are open. Virtually the entire farm has opened up for Knott's Berry Farm's new upgraded event, Taste of Knott. So look, now it's not just Ghost Town. Fiesta Village has opened back up. The Boardwalk area is welcoming all comers. Basically, it sounds like all of Knott's Berry Farm, but the rides, has reopened. Well, and one other small area that still remains closed. Unfortunately, we still can't visit Camp Snoopy. It's probably a good call because it is in fact the children's themed area, and you know, it's probably got to be hard for the kids to be here seeing all the rides closed as it is, without making the little ones who can't understand what's going on walk right past the tiny tot rides. Good call, Knotts, good call. George for sure will be disappointed because we all know how he feels about a certain Peanuts character in there.
George has a crush on you too. He has the biggest crush on you.
Oh, George's wife is gonna be angry. You sad, George? Oh, come on, man.
Don't do this to me again, man.
All right, George here is equipped with his tasting card, which, look at the size of that menu, quite a few items on there. And it allows you to choose up to 5 tasting choices on here, and there is quite a selection. And now it's all much more spread out, much more of the park has opened up, and like I was just telling George, coming back to Knott's Berry Farm at all, even though you can't get on any sweet roller coasters, felt so good. Just going somewhere familiar, going out where you can see some of your friends, mostly at a safe social distance, although George and I here are tested COVID-free, so we're good, we're good. We can snuggle later, buddy.
No.
Oh, okay. But just to come somewhere familiar again, somewhere that just felt normal, like part of my routine. I can't tell you how much it helped to remind me that the world is still turning. Things are gonna be okay. And each time that they have expanded their events, ooh, look at sanitizer. I have dutifully purchased some tickets, not just because it's, you know, great to get out of the house, let's be honest, but also because I definitely want to make sure to support Knott's Berry Farm and its employees, and, you know, basically any kind of responsible event like this where there's lots of social distancing, lots of sanitizing, temperature checks. I mean, it's wonderful. It feels safe. It feels nice to be outdoors, nice to get some grub if you're George or Allie or one of the people that can eat gluten. And like I was saying, each time that they've extended or upgraded the event, they've unlocked different areas of the park, like a video game. And it looks like we finally defeated the boss that unlocked Fiesta Village. Dude, this is usually a very overlooked part of the park, but you take it away from me for a little while and then let me back in, and I'm like, wow, Fiesta Hoy, Fiesta es bueno. The arcade is closed, but check it out. The little stores are open. Some of the stalls are open, selling some tie-dye shirts and jewelry. Something for the wife, George? Actually, in that Knott's Berry Farm 100th anniversary documentary, the time travel one that I put up, I showed you guys the seal pool that used to be right over here. It was basically replaced by the Fiesta Village dance floor. Well, if you remember, there was a building that said seal food that was sort of had a strange corner to it. This is on that very same site. This little sort of cutaway corner here is right where you would purchase your fish chunks and fish guts and feed them to the seals right there. Did you bring any fish guts with you, George? Any fish chunks? Let's get some chunks going. See, look at this. If you'll notice, there's a slight depression in the ground even now right here. It's still all sort of uneven. That's because they just backfilled in with concrete and then layered over another area of walkway. This area behind the carousel, which was later moved, used to be old McDonald's farm. This is right where it stood. Wow, look at that antique carousel. That thing is over 100 years old. It's actually kind of nice to see it sitting still for a minute. I can really Get to appreciate the old hand-painted details and these old menagerie animals. You know what's so weird is I almost never indulge in the carousel, but now that it's closed and I can't ride it, that's all I want to do. Let me on the carousel. Wait a minute. This isn't a carousel, it's a merry-go-round. Oh, close one. It is a little bit weird to see some of the game areas kind of emptied out or closed up, you know, because they couldn't get those ones to comply with the social distancing, but this right here, this is a great sight. A lot of international travel may be closed and flights canceled, but thanks to Knott's Berry Farm, I can still feel like I'm traveling the world. I've always loved this thing. You hear that? Whoa, Knott's Berry Farm started adding a lot of different roller coaster attractions, really in the 70s, 80s, 90s. This is one of the first big themed things they added that sort of helped them change direction again. You can hear the music is still playing in there, but of course the attraction is closed for the moment. I heard an interesting rumor, speaking of Knott's rides, that some officials have been here testing things out, seeing how rides would theoretically work should they reopen and how safe they would or wouldn't be, you know, swabs and all that stuff. I'm sure it's going to completely vary ride to ride. But it does give me hope that perhaps pretty soon some of the theme parks in California might get to at least partially reopen. We'll see. This is George's first time back to Knott's Berry Farm in how long? Months, way before the virus. So what do you think of
I don't think since Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh yeah. What do you think of the event though? Nice. Look at all the space here.
Yeah, it's cool.
Only your food. He hasn't got to try the food yet.
It's wide open, yeah.
Feels good to do something normal, right? Like just to be somewhere.
Other than home?
Yeah, other than home, yeah, exactly. Every once in a while you'll see a little cluster of people, usually in line for some of the food. And of course, as I've discussed before, if you hit the line at the wrong angle, you know, you're not going from the side like this, but you turn the camera this way, it looks like it's really crowded. So there may be moments where you're like, well, it looked like there was a big crowd, but if you actually get to the side, you'll see everyone's 6 feet or more apart from each other. It works out really well. I just wish theme parks would give me this much elbow room all the time. Must be slightly disappointing to the kiddos, but I gotta say, it is kind of fun, kind of interesting to come here and just see all the attractions close. It's a little quieter than normal. And as a fan of Knott's Berry Farm history, I am loving the opportunity to walk around and just sort of take in the little details without hearing the screams or without the crowds of people jostling with you. Like seeing this old wagon here under the flowers. I've never noticed that one before. Actually, when Walter Knott was alive here, they got so good at building replicas of old covered wagons and old Western wagons that for a time, Knott's Berry Farm was the premier manufacturer for covered wagon replicas that shipped all over the world. They were all built right here at the theme park. Well, okay, it was still more of a farm than a theme park at that point, but still, that's pretty crazy to think about. Almost any museum you go to, you see a covered wagon that was built, or a replica built in the 50s or 60s, probably built at Knott's Berry Farm. Wow, look at this. I don't think I've ever seen them put booths out in Fiesta Village like this before. There's all kinds of artwork and crafty soaps and beard oils. I mean, this is totally nuts. Literally, it's all nuts. So you have sweet, spicy, and savory. And 70 different flavors. Oh, here's the card right here. Okay, let me see. 70 different, that's nuts, George. You ever heard anything that nuts before? You people are nuts. Oh, I picked up some so spicy peanuts. Apparently these are gluten-free, not just gluten-friendly, buddy. Gluten-free. Peanuts are gluten-free. Good for nuts.
Mine doesn't have a logo.
Well, what'd you get? Questionable nuts. Your nuts are very questionable, George. Put those mystery nuts back in your pocket. Put them back. I love that they invite out a lot of local vendors and small business people to have booths at this event, because a lot of these small businesses that make circuits of conventions or theme parks or different stuff really have been really struggling during the whole shutdowns, you know. And I'm sure Knott's would have been just as successful only opening up their own stores and their own little restaurants. So the fact that they let the community come in and also have a chance at some profitability, I think that's pretty cool. Oh man, I missed the Mexican hat dance, George. I don't miss the swings though. Oh dude, what if that was the one ride that was open? I would like have to do it, but I would not want to. Now of course, most of you know that the other day, just a few days ago, I was in Death Valley during world record breaking temperatures, 130 degrees Fahrenheit. So you think I'd be pretty chill out here, but it's still 90 degrees and it's warm. It's warm. I've been drinking water all day. Well, I've been drinking water ever since I got back from Death Valley. today I decided to mix it up with a little lemonade. Sweet. All right, we have fiesta'd like the besta of them. And now we are moving on, headed to the other newly opened area, the Boardwalk. But wait a minute, first, look at this. I never noticed this before. It's a Fiesta version of Whittles, the old Ghost Town mascot. He's got a sombrero and everything. Weird. All right, and now to the Boardwalk. Now to the Boardwalk. Out on the Boardwalk. Boardwalk. Wait a minute. I don't spend a lot of time on the Boardwalk usually. Not because I don't like the theme of the beautiful beachside area, but because it's the home of these Knott's very scariest rides, like Supreme Scream and all the other extreme coasters. Speaking of extreme, I see some extreme foodies over here. It's Mig and Janelle from Tragic Journeys. You got there, Mig V? You got a wiener? You eating a wiener?
I'm trying to eat some food here.
What is that? Is that not a hot dog?
It's a brisket sandwich, but
Oh,
it's
a brisket sandwich. What are you eating, Janelle?
Nothing at the moment.
Nothing. Cover yourself, sir. Oh, wait, you're eating. Never mind. Okay. Well, I'd love to stay and share germs with you, but we're not allowed. So, see, it's nice to see friends out and about happen to have chance encounters once again, even if they are brief and at kind of a distance. It just feels so good to be relatively normal, you know? George is hopping over to the Boardwalk barbecue to get one of those brisket sandwiches. I'm just noticing how a lot of the games are closed still. I'm sure they bring in revenue at theme parks, but I gotta be honest with you, I've never been super stoked about carnival games in theme parks. Never been my #1 jam. It's kind of nice to walk around the Boardwalk without people yelling, come on, try the games. Man, it is so weird how much space there is. I mean, it does feel like there's a lot of people here, but at the same time, look at this. There is plenty of room for everybody to keep distance, to have a meal, plenty of seating, plenty of sanitizing stations here. I can finally clean up my potty mouth. This is quite delightful. What a treat. Ooh, look at this. This one is not roped off. The game may be closed, but I can still pretend to have fun. Yeah, I'm winning. I'm winning. For once, I'm winning. Oh no, I lost. Nobody was here and I still lost. I knew these games were rigged. Oh no, I'm just kidding, kids. We all know carnival games aren't rigged. Who would do that? Right? Oh, they're all perfectly legitimate. They're all perfectly legitimate. I was gonna say sick pick, and then I realized we don't want to be sick. Healthy pick, healthy selfie. Oh, nothing like a couple of healthy selfies, man. It's so weird. Like I've said a lot of times, I'm not too worried about getting sick. I've literally survived SARS before, and I feel like pretty confident I'll be okay eventually. But as George knows, I do have home antibody tests, which I've been regularly taking. I have gone and gotten the pokey test a lot. I'm being tested constantly to be safe, and I'm taking the whole mask thing, the whole social distancing thing very seriously if I don't know what you got, because I'd be horrified to get anyone else sick. And that is why we do this, folks, for the greater good, right? Sure. Not for the selfishness.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's my little PSA. I sympathize with all of you that can't stand the mask and you want your freedom. I get it. I totally do. I'm a punk rocker here, okay? I got a little bit of a rebellious streak myself. But this time, come on. Gotta do it for the gram. Like the grandma, not, the Instagram. Do it for the grandma.
The grandpa. Grandparents.
Yeah. Whoa, look at the sky cabin. I heard it's reopened now. Still haven't been back up. It's weird to see this thing without the old parachute. They used to put you in a little cage. It was basically just bars and drop you down a steel cable with a parachute full of holes above you. More of a parachute for looks than to actually slow you down.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, dude, that was the scariest ride ever. Might have greatly contributed to my fear of heights, but look at this at the bottom. Charlie Brown's got a tent over here? What's going on? Dude, I recognize that boombox. I think I had that boombox. Wow, and that Polaroid. What are Snoopy and Charlie Brown having an 80s camp out over here? Dude, I want to have an 80s camp out. Ooh, new idea, I claimed it. Oh, whoa, Wipeout has been wiped out. Whoa, gnarly, bro. Some of Knott's most famous modern roller coasters like the Coast Rider and of course Hang Time are still sadly out of order. It was kind of weird before because the fence was just down that way that you couldn't go beyond. So the last couple of visits I could stand over there, point the camera this way and just see this abandoned looking theme park. It was pretty cool. But even with the area open, it is weird to stand here and see all this track without hearing any clicking or breaking or screams. Weird. Normally you're sitting here and you're like, the wind came down and the window flew open and the children are screaming. The children are... How is that, dude? What? You grubbing, bro? You grubbing, man? Yeah, dude, this is awesome. Just being able to walk around one of my backyard theme parks here. Now, lots of people like to pretend differently, but I'm here to tell you that if you grew up in the area, very few people kept their Disneyland annual passes going back in the day. Knott's Berry Farm was the local park. That's the place where all the locals are like, dude, Knott's, man, coasters, you got beers, you got all kinds of stuff. All the cool teens had Knott's passes, and it was only a few of us that preferred Disneyland, you know, annual pass-wise. Luckily, I knew so many employees, and there were so many weird, like, Ralph's coloring contests. You remember those where you could get free Knott's tickets, or sometimes they've had ones where you bring a soda can, you could bring a friend for free. So yeah, I still came to Knott's. Yeah, I came to Knott's quite a lot, but this was the local park. Disneyland was like the weirdo park. Like, you had a Disneyland pass? Why? It's for little kids. Anyway, the last couple of years, especially since 2015, I've noticed a reversal where a lot of locals were like, Disney, I gotta be at Disneyland all the time. Which is cool, I love it. Happiest place on earth. But it's nice to see that with this, Knott's is really showing. They got local vendors here. They opened this place up to the community. Took a big risk in doing it, because if it had gone wrong, you know, I'm sure they would have been closed down the whole deal. And really invited the community back. I've noticed a lot of people going, this really is like kind of our home, like community park in Southern California way. It's like it's homegrown, you know? It's just nice to see it being appreciated, you know, for the local hangout that it should be. What? Wait, what is that? Uh-oh, we've got a DJ! A DJ on the roof! What in the world? That DJ is so high right now. Don't do it, it's not worth it!
Don't jump?
No, don't play music! At least not Journey, that's copyright music! Ah! Don't stop DJing, even if Justin is hating! I'm just playing around, you guys. I enjoy music too. I like a good toe tapper. I like a good scooty poot. Ah, looks like there's one area they still haven't opened besides Camp Snoopy. They still haven't opened up the berry back of Knott's. Get it, George? That's a berry joke from like Berry Farm, and a bear joke because that brand new ride, Knott's Berry Tales, Return to the Fair. It's just sitting there all complete waiting for us to get a little taste. I can barely contain my excitement to ride it. By the way, guys, when I make jokes about the music, one, it's copyright music, which is trouble for YouTube videos, obviously. Two, I'm not picking on anyone's genre. It's any music. I grew up playing in a band, going and playing all these bars, and after our show, they just turn the music on all loud. You could never talk to each other, and just... Exactly. What? It's good times at Old Walter's Berry Farm, I'll tell you. I just strongly prefer live music. And Crazy Kirk and the Hillbillies, formerly known as Billy Hill and the Hillbillies when they were at a different theme park, are apparently taking the stage sometime at a Taste of Knott. That's awesome. Hey, look at this. They got some crazy prospectors out here dancing.
Everybody's doing the Stephanie, except Stephanie. How does that work?
Hear that? For a split second, I thought maybe someone was vacuuming up the Calico mine ride. It sounds like a vacuum. Till I realized it's actually the Calico carver over here making some custom wooden signs. Ooh, look at the caricatures are open. Here, George, you should get me one of these. Of you.
Of me?
Yeah, you sit down and get yourself drawn. I'll take it and look at it and laugh.
If you pay for it.
No!
And no deal.
You pay for it.
No dice.
For my birthday. It's my birthday.
When's your birthday?
Now.
Is it in March?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. No more barricade right here alongside the log ride. It's weird I spent so much time working on that time travel documentary and watching old film and editing that thing that I feel like I was here when John Wayne took the first log down and there was that whole ceremony. So like somehow in my brain I'm like, I was just here with John Wayne and wait a minute, I wasn't there. Yeah, dude, it is just nice to be over here again. I love this. I guess pretty soon, hopefully, they'll be able to open up the whole shebang. All right, the sun is going down, and while it sets, I think I'm gonna go get a sarsaparilla with George back there. Let George get some grub. We'll be right back. All right, well, the sun is down now. Still a little light outside. I just finished eating those spicy peanuts. Oh my gosh, they were so spicy. Meanwhile, looks like George has found himself some boysenberry meatballs over here. Nice balls, George. Ooh, and the slices, just don't pizza when you meatball. You're gonna have a bad time.
Dude, it's so freaking humid out here.
Yeah, you're sweating, dude.
Just sitting here, man.
You're sweating, I'm sweating. At least you're staying hydrated,
at my hat.
bro.
My
Stay
hat.
hydrated, bro. Stay hydrated. And yeah, I'm still having fun. Pouring sweat. Feeling it though. Feels good now. Nice breeze. It's only like 80 degrees. George is about to scarf down some mac and cheese pizza.
After having two
That
bowls.
has to make it worse, dude, the food. 'Cause all I ate was peanuts and I'm
After
sorry.
having 2 bowls of mac and cheese.
Oh, dude, you're on a Mac attack. Ironically, you're a PC user.
What?
Because of Mac. I love Mac. Well, I think George has eaten his fill of macaroni now, and I'm not really one for munching at these events. But I had me a beverage or two, so I think for the moment, we've done our duty. It's just crazy that coming to Knott's Berry Farm, not even to ride rides, just to hang out, walk around for a few hours, something that we would do couple times a week, every other week. Just something super normal for SoCal has become like this, wow, what a rare treat. This whole pandemic thing has made me struggle with depression in a way that I haven't for years, struggle with anxiety in ways that I haven't for years. It's been a bummer in a lot of ways, but one thing that it has done on the positive side of the balance sheet is make me feel incredibly grateful for things I often took for granted. I'll tell you, like just going outside and breathing the free air and seeing friends and wandering around, and incredibly grateful for all of you who are watching at home. But don't think I'm giving you a farewell message, not yet. There's something I kept meaning to show you guys every time I came to Taste of Calico, and now that it's Taste of Knott, I'm finally gonna do it. But what I wanted to show you is outside the park. So first, a quick sig, healthy pic, in Fiesta Village. Healthy selfie, healthy selfie! And then we'll make our way off the farm. Just head over this way to good old Camp. Oh, I just remembered Camp Snoopy's closed. Oh, poopy. No Camp Snoopy. Well, we'll just have to go back around the long way. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. Now, if you've ever watched my other Knott's history videos, specifically like the documentary or any of the really old school stuff, you'll know that sign out in front of the park today calling this California's original theme park is no joke. Knott's Berry Farm is old school. And one of the oldest attractions, one of my favorite things, was the old covered wagon show. The show itself was pretty simple. It was a simple painted backdrop with some carved horses and a little miniature covered wagon. There'd be an effect as it changed from day to night and some pre-recorded dialogue talking about Walter Knott's mother's trip across the plains in a covered wagon. It only lasted 2 or 3 minutes, but it was the first proper attraction that led to this place becoming Orange County's first theme park. The show used to be located in the old Gold Trails Hotel here at the foot of Ghost Town, but sadly gave way to Progress decades ago and was removed. Now, from time to time over the years, every once in a while, a little former piece of the covered wagon show, one of the model horses or something like that, would pop up in a window display or in the Western Trails Museum somewhere back there. But eventually, kind of like the Pekin characters, all those little Easter eggs seem to disappear over the last couple of years, until, much like the return of the Pekin characters, I noticed the return of one of the pieces of the covered wagon show, a little Easter egg, a seriously important piece of theme park, and especially Knott's Berry Farm theme park history, that has not only been preserved and has survived, which is exciting enough, but it's right here on the farm. Notice I didn't say in the farm, because it's right outside the gate of the theme park. We just cruise through the turnstiles and out the exit, and a short distance away, right on the other side of this store over here, Virginia's Gift Shop, named, by the way, for Walter Knott's daughter, Virginia, who actually did run this particular gift shop, the first one on the farm, is a piece of history, dude. Right up against Grand Avenue, the main street usually, to enter Knott's Berry Farm, and right behind my friend George, look at that. Believed to be an Andy Anderson original, very famous wood carver who created a lot of the early features of Knott's Berry Farm. That is definitely the wagon team leader from the old covered wagon show, leading the horses or mules or whatever they were, and the wagons across the desert into the night.
You know, I've done my research, buddy. That is 100% True.
No one will ever forget that 2 to 3 minute little show if you ever went in there. Nice and peaceful, nice and air conditioned. Look at that guy. That is a serious and important piece of theme park history all over the world. The original attraction at Knott's Berry Farm, the covered wagon show. I know some people who would pay a pretty penny to get their hands on that thing. And Knott's Berry Farm, if you're listening, I know some people who would gladly restore this thing pro bono if they were allowed to take a mold of it and make themselves a little bit of a copy, huh? That is amazing. It's just sitting in the window of Virginia's gift shop, looking right into the rising sun, just dusty and faded, but still glorious. I don't know if it was just in a warehouse and the random window decorator was like, that looks pretty good, or they really knew exactly what kind of treasure they had here, but this, it belongs to the museum! My museum that I'll start if they just donate it to me. Right, George? You know what I'm talking about. He's not paying attention. But that is a sick piece of history. So if you cruise down to the chicken dinner restaurant right there, you're eating out here on Grand Avenue, or you're making your way to a Taste of Knott's, which you can get tickets for online now, make sure when you pass by this window, you stop and pay tribute to a serious piece of history right there. It doesn't look like much, but I'm telling you, that right there is the real deal. There would be no Disneyland, certainly not in the same location, and certainly not with the same design if it weren't for Knott's Berry Farm. Walt Disney and all of his team came and studied the heck out of this place, not just for feasibility, but for how it would work, layout, flow. And who knows, the covered wagon show may have been one of the things he definitely sat in and watched. Could have inspired some of the things we see at Disneyland and other theme parks all over the world to this very day. All right, now that we've seen that, we just have one more thing to do, George. It'll barely take a minute. You'll take a fun picture, right? If I wanted to take a picture of you doing something fun, you'd do it, right, George? Come on, buddy.
I guess.
Then it's time to take a fun pic with a masked bear. Look at him. He looks so happy. All you have to do is put your keister on his hand and give a big smile under your mask. And that's all we have to do, and then we can go.
I really wish there was no one else here.
What?
I really wish there wasn't anyone
Oh,
else
well, there are people here,
Okay,
George.
okay, don't bring attention.
Well, they're
to
barely
it.
going to
Don't
notice.
get-
They're going to barely notice. You have to have fun, though. Okay. Here he goes. He's going. He's taking his seat. He's doing it. You've got to be quiet. He doesn't want to be embarrassed. Fun pic! Fun bear pic! Taking a bear pic! Bear pic! Yeah, I got it, George. Good job.
Okay, good.
What a fun one.
Yeah, fine.
Now one for me. A sick squatch selfie. And I've done my duty. All right, guys, we've seen history. We've embarrassed George. I think it's safe to say we've done our duty. We can go home and sleep very well. Make sure to check out all the links down below, including the link to the sick, wait a minute, COVID, healthy merch. It's been restocked and it's ready to drop. It's sanitized for your protection. It's sanitized. And yeah, that's it. Bye, McVie. Bye, Janelle. It wasn't me. I don't smell.
I declare, you've done your duty. Now go home and sleep well.
How's my
friend, good to see you again.
How's my pardon coming?
How's your farming?
No, my pardon.
Pardon?
Yeah.
I didn't reckon I was gonna pardon you. As far as I know, you ain't done nothing wrong.
It's that horse thieving I did with Sad-Eyed Joe. I don't want to end up in the pokey with him.
Wait one Texas minute. You were wrapped up with Sad-Eyed Joe?
Yeah.
For crying out loud, dude,
we stole
you
your horse.
Have a different caliber of person you're hanging out with.
Well, I'm still waiting for the pardon.
Sir, be it all known to everyone here at Calico, from this moment forward, this dude with a properly covered up Snoop has been pardoned of all crimes regarding the horse thievery of the sheriff's horse.
Oh, thank you, Mr.
Give him a round of
Mayor.
applause.
You've got my vote forever.
Whoa.
See, normally you're
The
sitting.
wind closed in on me.
Was that it? Uh-oh, this DJ is gonna put my favorite singer out of business. Well, it looks like the ladies still only have eyes for him, so he'll have some fans left. Ironically, you're a PC user.
What?
Because of Mac. I love Mac.
Oh.
But you're a PC
Gotcha,
user?
gotcha.
Because you are, right? You got an Android phone? And
Yeah, and Mac, or not a Mac, but Chromebook. It's PC, right?
I forget what we were talking about now. What?
Brisket sandwich.
Brisket sandwich. Nice. Is that gluten-free bread there? Can I have some? Oh,
Those bites for Oscar.
oh, Oscar, don't you want some of that brisket, bro? Some brisket, bro?
Please do not eat and drink while strolling, and make sure that your mask covers both nose and mouth. Thank you.
We're taking some social distance fun pics. Yes, I was gonna say sick pic, and then I realized we don't want to be sick. Healthy pic, healthy selfie. That's amazing. It's just sitting in the window of Virginia gift shops. Virginia gift shops? Flub. Oh, George, don't be embarrassed. That was a very good mask picture. You're doing a very good job. You know, social distancing there.
You know what?
What?
Being your friend sometimes is very unbearable.
Unbearable! You did it, George. You punned. You're so much pun, buddy. Minky! Oh! I've barely seen you all day!
It's good to see you, my
Hey,
friend.
did you get a very good pic with this bear here? George said it was unbearable, but I thought it was very punny.
Hag.
He doesn't know what to say.
So big.
That's what she said! Oh, that's 6 feet, 6 feet. 6 feet, McV. Holy kernels of fun, George! Would you look at the size of that popcorn? Look at the size of it! The size of it, George! Yes! Someone popped a large kernel of corn, George. I feel like that's too close, even though I know we're both clean, but still. Really. Someone popped a large kernel! I hope it wasn't Colonel Sanders. Yes! What you eating, bro? You eating some popcorn? Dude, that's for display only. George, I can't take you anywhere. Dude, fire. Look at the size of it. Well, wait a minute, Pilgrim. I do a terrible John. Look at the size. The size. Look at the size.